Bhagavad Gita as it is, and it's something we can speak from, okay? So it's chapter 2, text 48. The chapter is entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized. Yogastha kuru karmani
Yogastha kuru karmani
Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya
Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya
Asidyo samobhutva
Siddhasidya samodbhutva
Samatvam yoga uchyate
Samatvam yoga uchyate.
Translation. Steadfast in yoga, O Arjuna. Perform your duty equipoised, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Let's do that together. Steadfast in yoga.
Steadfast in yoga.
O Arjuna.
O Arjuna.
Perform your duty equipoised.
Perform your duty equipoised.
Abandoning all attachment.
Abandoning all attachment
to success or failure.
to success or failure.
Such equanimity is called. Okay, go ahead. Such equanimity, go ahead. Is called yoga. All right. So what we're going to do is look at the purport, and I will look at the purport. I'm going to charade this out to you. Okay? Is that all right? Okay, just keep it this way. It's fine. Okay, here we go.
Krishna
Tells
Arjuna
that he should act in
yoga.
and what is that?
Yoga.
Question mark. Yoga means to concentrate the
Mind.
upon the
Lord. Supreme Personality of Godhead.
all right, by controlling the ever disturbing
Senses.
And who is the supreme? The supreme is the Lord. And because he himself is telling Arjuna to
Fight.
Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or
Victory.
are Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of
Krishna.
the following of Krishna's dictation is real.
Yoga.
And this is practiced in the process called
Krishna consciousness.
by Krishna
Consciousness.
only can one give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of
Krishna.
or the servant of the servant of.
Krishna.
That is the right way to
Charge.
discharge duty in
Krishna consciousness.
which alone can help one to act in.
Yoga.
Arjuna is a
Kshatriya.
and as such, he is participating in the Varnashram Dharma
System.
institution. Thank you. It is said in the Vishnu Purana that in the Varnashrama Dharma, the whole
Point. Oh.
aim is to
Relieve.
satisfy.
Vishnu.
Good. That's an easy one. Shouldn't be. No one should satisfy himself, as is the rule in the
Material.
material
World.
But one should satisfy
Krishna. So
So, unless
One.
satisfies,
Krishna.
one can
Not.
correctly observe the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna told him. Haribol, thank you very much. We did
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so here we have the perfect verse from Krishna, and the purport is pretty outstanding. I think it's just got it preceded down to perfection. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
All right. So again, I would just like to say that Happy New Year, and it's time for reflection. It's time for resolution. It's time for a restart, perhaps, or to do things better. And at this time of the year, we try to, let's say, improve on what we've been doing before. I think our goals should be realistic and not something that's far-reaching, something that's achievable, right? Because sometimes we say, I'm going to make a commitment, I'm going to make my promise to God, and then you realize after 2 weeks, your steam runs out. So I think something that's achievable is good. And it's really up to you all what you want to do about that. It's personal, unless if you want to make it public. Does anybody want to tell us their New Year's resolution? I mean, it's quite okay. Okay, we have somebody here.
I guess one resolution I did have, I'm working on, is work less, be here more.
Okay, work less, be here. Okay, okay, not bad. You might have to give a report on that one. Just you reminded me of something Prabhupada said. Work now, samadhi later. Work for Krishna, and then all the, retirement stuff comes later on. So that's something to think about as well. Yes. Anybody else want to give their resolution offering to say something? Thank you, Prabhu, for being so bold. You're the only person in the room that knows how to ululate.
There's another one right
Yeah,
there.
we have another one? Okay, tell us.
To read more.
Read more, okay. And in particular, there's a lot of things to read.
Prabhupada's books.
Thank you very much, yes. Haribol. When you hear what people have to say in terms of, their commitments, personal commitments, it does become inspiring. So thank you for inspiring us.
Oh, this isn't my resolution, but I just wanted to say concerning resolutions. My daughter used to work as a personal trainer in a gym. And this is prime time. Everybody's coming in to buy a membership. But by February, you don't see them.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, we've seen that, how things drop off a little bit, they level off after a certain while. We see that also with people's commitment to the Bhakti path, the Krishna path. And some people come here with this incredible, enthusiasm, and then it starts to wane a little bit, and then sometimes it comes to a point of, no return. And that's kind of unfortunate. Yes, go ahead. You have one?
To memorize Gaura Arati chants, Tulsi Arati.
Okay, that's a good commitment. Okay, so you're talking about memorizing some of the standard proceedings that involve bhajans, by the acharyas. I think that's a real good one. Memorization, after all, is good for the brain. And I know in my years as a brahmachari, it was the time to memorize. Now when I try to memorize, it's like, I've got like a dead brain. It's just hard to, you just don't have that same functioning as you did before. So better late than never. And Krishna, he always, just to reflect on something Prabhupada said, Vaishnav means one who's trying. You may not be 100% successful in your endeavors, and there are 9 processes of devotional service, But you try, like you don't give up. You have to be not like Teflon, which doesn't stick. You want to be able to stick to some routine, some regimen, and be very committed. Commitment is a very hard thing because we do very much live in a culture of sense gratification, where my senses are a priority. Senses are a priority, correct?
Yes.
So in this culture, we become very weakened, and then it becomes hard to be serious about things like tapasya, discipline, and so on like that. It's hard to overcome. Of course, if you have people around you who are into that discipline, and that makes all the difference. If you have the sangha that makes it happen, then yes, everything can change. These people who do japa retreats, they get on the phone in the morning, they do japa together. There's some people who just go out and jog together. Whatever the case may be, in the sangha there's strength, and so we have to keep that in mind. When you're on your own, when you're doing a solo program, it's really difficult. Your commitment level comes down real fast. Not for everyone, mind you, but yeah. Good. Anybody else want to offer their
Yep.
resolution?
So I just start reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's going to be 10 pages for about 2 years.
But 10 pages each day for 2 years.
To finish
Wow, you've
everything.
got it mathematically figured out. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's very nice. That's calculating. That's important. We need to do that when it comes to planning. And by the way, this time of the year, it's a good time to plan, in my opinion. It's not all fun. It's winter, right? I just come from a place where it's more winter. Okay, and some people complain about the winter, but first of all, I don't like complainers. Keep them away from me. It's just bad news, bad vibrations. And if you, I almost feel like saying, you just love to whine. Would you like some cheese with your wine? And it's not what Prabhupada did. He didn't complain. If you want to follow the perfect model, and that was, Prabhupada, and he was always upbeat. And there's two ways to be in life: upbeat or beat up. It's your choice. So, a lot of strength comes from following sadhana, and that's usually done as a group effort. Sadhana is nothing sadhana. It is something very positive, and it sets a nice tone for the rest of the day. So if it becomes a beautiful habitual thing, then you can progress, or you can advance. I remember when first meeting the devotees, I invited them to my apartment. I was a college student, and these devotees didn't have a place to stay, so I said, "Won't you stay with me?" And they were talking about Prabhupada and his glories, and we were looking at a picture of him. I was looking at a picture of Srila Prabhupada while they were talking, and I thought, okay, according to these Krishna devotees, he's very special. I couldn't really see it at the time. I was 20 years old, 19 actually. And to me, people who really matter are the ones who are young and beautiful. And I couldn't see that in Prabhupada's picture. I saw a big, stretched out, big smiling mouth. I saw big earlobes. I saw big nose. Saw hairs coming out. and all the features of old aging. And yet, the devotees were talking about, well, we can't wait till we're at that age. And at that time, when this particular classic picture came out, Prabhupada would have been in his mid-70s. And I was wondering, who really wants to be old? Who really wants old age? I've never heard of anybody in any culture say, we can't wait till we get old. And I wanted a clarification. I think it was the first question I really asked to them, tell me why you want to be old like him. And they said, well, we understand that he's very advanced. And then that word, like, advanced. But like, the only time I ever heard of advance was like, you get a little money up front. You get some funds up front, and that helps you with your project, whatever. So I wanted a clarification of what it means to be advanced. I said, well, it means to be spiritually progressive. You know? And I said, oh, I think I get it. I think, you know, the saintly qualities and that type of thing. So that was very relieving for me to hear, that particular thing. And I was satisfied with the answer. Okay, as you get older, as you age, you mature on many levels. Your mechanisms may fail. The seeing power is not what it used to be when you were young, or the hearing power, or the speaking power. Your lungs aren't what they used to be. You couldn't sing out, you know, of course, like a great kirtan, lead a great kirtan. But it was confirmed. Okay, I get it now. I'll have a greater perception on life. I'll have advanced insight. So that was very, you know, gratifying to hear that about Srila Prabhupada. So I'll put that to you, Brewers. How many people are here looking forward to old age or aging? Just anybody interested in that?
Already
program?
there.
It just happens, right? Anybody? Can I see some hands up? Okay, great. We've got some mature person over there in the corner. In this corner, we've got a strong person.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Yeah, ready. Yeah, that's true. It's going to come. And I think we can just try to highlight the features of that aging process. There is greater insight. I mean, when you're young and strong and all that kind of stuff and beautiful, you are very much motivated by the mode of passion. And there's a lot of things that you overlook. You know, you're moving really fast. There's by a rose bush. Hey, but did you smell those roses? You know, she said, no, where? What are you talking about? Oh, that rose bush you just passed by. You didn't smell them? Did you see them? I didn't see them. Okay. We're in such a hurry. So the idea is take time to smell the roses. If you've heard that phrase before. That's where we want to go with our Krishna consciousness. Right? Most definitely. That's what it means to advance. And you know, we're all going to come to a stage where there's an expiry date. You know? And then, are you really ready? Are you ready to die before dying? So, in Krishna consciousness, we prepare ourselves. We're into preparedness and getting ourselves ready. So, getting ready means also to plan. So, it's a good time to hear to plan. No? Where I come from, it's white right now, and it's like if you have like you're doing some artwork, a painting, with a stretched canvas, and it's all white. So there's all incredible possibilities that will go on there. So in the month of January, I think it's just like that. There's a kind of a blank, and then you're supposed to fill it in with your desires and your dreams, and hopefully it's aligned with Krishna and with Guru, and everything will be all nice. Sugar and spice and everything nice. Yes, good. Anybody else want to share it there? Okay, then, if you don't want to share it, now it comes up.
Well, I wouldn't call this a resolution, but something I'm considering is possibly sitting for the Bhakti Shastri test this year.
Okay, the Bhakti Shastri test.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. That's a very nice, strong commitment. Thank you very much for sharing. Taking the Shastras very seriously. Yeah, that's good.
One of my resolutions is to trust in the Supreme Lord more with all of the changes that will happen.
Okay, that's very nice too. Bravo. And trust is built up. It comes from Shravanam, from hearing. Yes.
I didn't want to say this, but I guess I need to keep myself accountable, so I'll say it out loud. So I'm doing 10 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, the verse in the purport every single day, at minimum 10. So I'm trying to keep it 10 And that's at least every single day for the minimum of 10. So now that I say it aloud, I would probably keep it.
Now you are accountable, yes. May you be transparent. Okay, that's good. Anybody else like to go? Okay, okay.
Krish, I'm trying to consistently chant every day of this year.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Beautiful. Because you weren't doing it before, right?
Yes.
Making commitment with a capital C is really important, and I think one of the main features in Kali Yuga is that people aren't so much daring and bold to take up strong commitments that make a difference in your life. Good. Anybody else? We'll just go until we exhaust ourselves, if you like. It's a good exercise. All right. Good.
Navia, these two young smart ladies in the front.
Oh, you're committing others. Okay, sure. Come on, come forward. Why not?
I want to try and learn more kirtans on my own because I've been using the notes that my harmonium teacher gave me, but now I'm going to start like branching out on my own.
Okay, beautiful, great, thank you. Beautiful endeavors. Haribol.
My resolution is to chant 4 rounds every day.
Wow, nice. When it comes to figures, 4 rounds could, entail, a half hour of your day out of 24 hours. That's not bad. It's very doable. Thank you for doing. Thank you for telling us that, giving us that figure, not saying I'm gonna do 64 rounds. On the first walk I did across Canada, I was doing 64 rounds a day. And just because I put in the miles anyways, or the kilometers, and it was achievable. I was able to do it. And it was very purifying. It was great. There was nothing but me and the holy name. And of course, looking at some of the scenery. But what's nice about chanting while walking is that you start to see the connection between Krishna and everything around you. You can look around you, but if there isn't a mantra that's incorporated in the whole thing, then it's hard to see that connection. So there's various segments of the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna talks about how he can be identified through the elements, through nature, through the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, just to give some examples. And anything that's prominent, say for instance, the shark, it's considered to be like the king in the water. So that's what I'm talking about. So when you're chanting and you're out there, walking and chanting at the same time, it really helps to insert, or you're not inserting, Krishna's already there, you're starting to see what you did not see before. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Jai. Anything else? We did very good. I mean, maybe a quarter of you responded out of the whole bunch. So let's hear one more time. And we opened up with one of the music videos, and it's about poetry, so we put it to a song. And I'd like to share with you one or maybe 2 other poems that I wrote and that are available. So there's one topic, this is one that a lot of the devotees have responded to, not just people in general. It's about something called gossip. Are you familiar with that? Of course, it doesn't happen here. We're free from that kind of stuff, right? But here we go. It's called Loose Tongue Monster. That's referring to all of us. Right? Gossip is the cowardly, unofficial occupation of a jerk. Volunteers are either on part or full-time work. Call it a toxic tongue, a plague worse than a pandemic, a dirty and dark behind behind-the-back dynamic. A casual chat where the truth is not confirmed, a devil's radio broadcasting nothing to be learned. Gossipy people have nothing of substance to say. Fabrications from their mouth are always on display. It's a syndrome, a condition of verbal diarrhea. They are rumor addicts like alcoholics on tequila. Do take note that those who gossip to you will inevitably and eventually gossip about you. And those who know so little about you suddenly become an authority, having all the goods on you. Perhaps the greatest human offender is the gossiper. Is that possible? Is that right? Though feeling their contribution has the status of philosopher. Little do they know that gossip, a lethal weapon, will act karmically, as if to beckon, like a boomerang that's suddenly released and comes back to haunt and strike like a beast. You'll get some karma from me. So stay away from this backstabbing game. Stay away from fault finders who bear no shame. Stay away from loose-tongued monsters of derision, and hold hands with folks who have some intuition. A superior investment to being critical is to point out the good in an individual. Thanks for trying. Don't let that big, fat mouth try to obstruct two good listening ears poised to reconstruct any hope for a rumor monger. Perhaps it's our deep prayer, a call for a miracle, compassion, and help on a major repair. Haribol.
Haribol.
Haribol. Okay, and is that okay? Would you like one more?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's something about Krishna. Okay, that was a secular poem. Here's something very transcendental. Charm Boy, about super duper hero Krishna. He is both menacing and adorable. His sweet innocence reveals he's not deplorable. Babyhood charm is written all over his face. And wherever he is, he transforms that very space. That space is on earth and beyond the skies too. His parents impose upon him a decent curfew. Yet he sneaks away at night under the moon after plotting a rally of monkeys and friends by noon. The plot is to scout the neighbors' homes and swarm their butterstock like bees to honeycombs. There is success in the break and enter. He's definitely left, right, and center. He then gets caught red-handed by his mother, for his hands are moistened by thick, smooth butter. His mother decides he must learn a good lesson. She grabs a stick and starts a chasing session. But he's fast on his feet. With speed he goes. She runs, and due to fatigue, she slows. Tossing out the stick, she manages to stop him. From here on, it may appear to look grim. But not so. She secures a rope to bind the boy. For both persons, there's a mix of fear and joy. Mystically, the rope of lesson and love cannot tie him, frustrating her thereof. So he surrenders to her will of good intent, convinced that her love is 100%. He allows her to fasten him to a mortar in the yard. For her, it's not easy. In fact, it is hard. In her absence, he proceeds to pull rope and mortar. With ease, he pulls down 2 trees in that back quarter. And from that fall appears 2 beautiful men. Bewildered they are for what happened to them. They had been cursed by a well-known sage for partying shamelessly, lowering guard and gauge. They now honestly feel a kind of liberation and credit the boy for such a relieving sensation. They were existing as trees for far too long, and now regained their original forms so strong. There is a side to the boy that leaves us in wonder, frivolous yet helpful, we're left to ponder. Who actually is this child with all this power? With skin blue and his mother makes him cower? For many admirers and scholars, he is a great subduer of miscreants, scoundrels, and a host of wrongdoers. He goes by different names, Makanchar, Damodar, Mukunda, Krishna. If you call on any of these names, you'll feel he's warm and has endless charm. Haribol. Any questions at this point? Shall we rip through one more?
Yes.
Is that okay? All right. I'm going to do one about, it's called Big Cat. Guess who we're talking about? Srila Prabhupada. I would say cool cat. Did everyone see the film? How was it? Good. How did it grab you? That's a killer, yeah. He was. That's true. Okay, here we go. He was ferocious, yet not atrocious, bearing a gaping mouth, stretching from north to south, with terrifying jaws and matching claws, effective incisors to intimidate all misers. He tossed his lofty mane and exposed muscle and vein, releasing a deafening roar, scary to the core. You guessed, it's a lion, invoking fear and a crying. Most amazing though, from neck to toe, the body was human, with emotions fuming. He appeared on the scene, challenging a man who was mean, a case of child abuse, for which there's no excuse. Our tale begins with that mean man who hails from an evil clan. Part 1. Okay. Hiranya was born during a devastating storm. Ill omens could be seen. Conditions were extreme. And as he grew, his ego did too. He wanted to strike a deal with the universe, an appeal, to be the most powerful person, in which case the world would worsen. To get some attention, he entered a new dimension, standing on toes, doing yogas, his purpose, most bogus. There under the strong sun, ants ate his flesh till done. Brahma, the cosmic god, took notice, gave a nod. Hiranya thought he's now immortal and made his way to a portal with a transformed body, but intelligence naughty. He became empowered, began attacks like no coward, People cringed and curled in a now shaken world. He conquered every planet, no question of cannot. He eradicated the thoughtful, resurrecting the awful. Said this king of terror, I make no error. Thanks. Let it go. Part 2. Sons he had 4. Naturally to adore. Hiranya loved them all since they began to grow. Son Prahlad from the start was very good at heart. He kept a major secret, one he'd never forget. When in the womb of mother came a sage like a brother, who said most explicit, identify as spirit. And there is a creator, a spirit much greater. This Prahlad kept within. Sharing of this did not begin until he was 5 at school in what is called Gurukul. He spoke to each classmate, being a simple life advocate. Hiranya then heard a report of sessions not inclined to support. Quote, for those wisdom talks held, the boy should be expelled. Challenging the authority, this is the wrong priority. Due to Prahlad's spoiling, Hiranya's blood was boiling. Because of this disclosure, the affection was over. This was most intolerable. Punishment was inevitable. Section 3. The torture had commenced, in no version condensed. Astonishingly, results were nil. Hiranya just could not kill. Remembering what the sage said, the boy could not be pronounced dead. He came out unscathed. The father was simply amazed. How is this possible? And Prahlad answers, by the power unstoppable, present just everywhere, on land and water and in the air. Tension built up like a thriller. Hiranya pointed to a pillar. Is this power there? Absenteeism, I declare. He struck that pillar like a vicious killer. The pillar shook, was alive, it shattered, and out did arrive a lion man massive, while Prahlad remained passive. With size and sound alone, Hiranya's reality was blown. The lion man hoisted him to his lap, now caught in a trap. Hiranya was indeed a mouse in his very own house. At the portal he did lie. Time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye. His body had diminished. Hiranya's mission finished. Part 4. Prahlad did love his dad. He wished him nothing bad. He also loved the big cat, who gave the boy a pat. He was indeed ferocious, but not at all atrocious. Haribo! We find this a lot of fun to take these epical stories from the Bhagavatam and elsewhere, and just to narrow them down to something that's kind of simple and easy to remember. And you know, in terms of plays, Krishna Prema, you and I have done them. You can take some of these stories, poems, and they're all condensed stories, basically, and just put them to a dramatical stage. You know, and some of them can last 10, 15 minutes. It's a real nice way to portray them. Yeah, we'd love to do that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we have just, let's see,
18 minutes.
18 minutes left. Okay. Fantastic. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah,
We have to get the discussion.
yeah. I mean, in the beginning you asked about our own, New Year's resolution kind of thing, and we all came up with a new one, which we do every year. But I'm looking at you, knowing your history of since 1920 and then walking. Every day seems like a new day or new year for you. Keep going out. You just don't think, okay, 2026 also is something different. Come out, help all of us understand Krishna consciousness. And you sometimes, of course, not sometimes, all the time, you go out alone, walking, and you appreciate Krishna's surroundings. Sometimes there are some Krishna's creatures may not be, kind to you sometimes. So I don't know how you have been going around. Could share something.
Oh, the fun, the adventure of kind of dealing with life itself, or going through one day, or even if it's a marathon walk, is that it's, you don't know what's going to come. It's just going to be a lot of fun, and you start off with strength by chanting, and then as the day wears on, then you don't know what you're going to deal with. I mean, it could be challenges with nature itself. It could be raining, pouring cats and dogs, and it could be windy, it could be super hot. Whatever are the conditions, you just plow through it because you start off on a nice note of being positive. So I was, just to tell you about myself, I was raised on a farm. So my dad would get me up at 5:30 in the morning, and I didn't know the cow. I went out to look for the cow in the field. Where is it? And through the mist sometimes, and she'd be there. As soon as she'd see me, she'd get up. And it was amazing that when I think of the imagery with massive flesh coming up in like toothpick legs, you know how cows are, right? And the cows always make a trail, like from the deer family, same thing, moose, deer, cows, they make trails. So she goes down there, she's happy to go for the massage and we'll call milking the cow. So my day started on a nice note. There was apart from a few times when she'd stick her leg up and stick it in the milk where it was almost done. But it was, my life started growing up as a teenager with regulation, a chore that had to be done. There's no way I could say to my dad, I don't feel good about it, I don't want to do it today. There's no way I could say, I couldn't be Arjun. And so there was that strong commitment, and that sort of helped me with my devotional life. So when it's time to get up for Mangalarti, it's time to get up. And sometimes we've been up late the night before doing some devotional service, so you might have an excuse. But for the most part, getting up and doing what needs to be done. Dharma, your codes, your codes according to your modes are really important to fulfill. And when it came summertime, we just used to work in the fields for 8 hours a day. And I often wonder, apart from getting a little, money at the end of the week, I sometimes wonder, where is this leading me to? And now I can understand, whatever I went through as a youngster, with regulation and with chores and some austerities, your mind doesn't always accept everything. You just go at it anyways, out of a sense of duty, and that has been translated into, practicing bhakti yoga and going at it day after day after day. And all I can say, it's fun. And in my exploration as a young person, I would say I can declare boldly I was a misfit. I didn't fit in. I'll tell you a funny story. I was, I got my license. I was trying to, get in with the culture. I remember asking a girl, let's go out. And we went to the local country fair. And, of course, I'm just trying to impress. That's what you do. And so we went up in one of those rides where it goes like this. It's not a Ferris wheel, but it was something much more. So it just so happened that whatever I ate that day went up in the air and it swirled around just like. So I just, I did whatever I tried to do, it wasn't working out. I was just a misfit. I just want to say that. I just didn't fit in. I often wonder what misfit was. When I walked across the states and I came to Nevada, there's a place, I can't remember the name of the town, but they filmed this movie from the 60s, early 60s. It's called The Misfits. It's a very dark film and doesn't leave you with much hope. That's the story about all these different characters. They come together, they're trying to find themselves, and they can't find happiness even amongst themselves. So the story is you try to find yourself somewhere. So it was no good fit. And when I came to Krishna consciousness and I met the devotees, I saw all these young people. I saw they were talented, they were philosophical, they were happy. And, we didn't fight with each other. That I was talking to B.B. Govinda Swami, who was one of our devotees at the Toronto Temple. And he was a little senior to me. And you know what I'm talking about, right? Yordia Pati was his name at the time. And he is from Alabama. And he told me he was, his babysitter was Elvis Presley. And Elvis is, because Ayodhyapati's or B.B. Govinda Swami's father was Elvis's manager for a time, right? So Elvis used to get ice cream for him and everything. So I said, wow, I'd like to be with these kind of people, And it was, just extraordinary, the kind of company that we had. And we were reminding each other last summer, said, we never fought with each other. I said, you're right, we didn't. We just focused on Prabhupada Seva, And of course, there wasn't the internet. We all understood that you don't criticize, you just bring out the best in everybody. And you point out what's good in every individual. You don't put people down. So that culture has been somewhat increasing over time, and it's kind of heartbreaking that it does happen. But I remember those days when we didn't do that. We were so just happy and we were going to conquer the world. Now we haven't quite conquered the world, and I think one of the reasons is because we just got into backbiting, Some of us, not everybody, and it happens in all communities, but a lesson can be learned from that, Everything was flourishing, growing, there was so much optimism, and of course we were young, we had all this power, we had all this energy, and we really felt we were going to take over the world in a short time. So fast forward, 5 decades later on, we haven't quite conquered the world yet. But it starts with conquering some of your own weaknesses, some of your areas that need to be addressed. Anyways, just to answer your question, this is what keeps me pumped up. I haven't been able to find anything else that's superior to this, even with our wonderful movement, with some faults, and there are faults there, but I can't find anything that's better than this. There isn't. I've looked around. I walked a few countries, I looked around. I can't really find anything better, And what was so nice about Krishna consciousness that, if you were a little artistic, then you could channel those energies in Krishna service. It wasn't frowned down upon. In other words, if you weren't like a monk and you couldn't do anything that was kind of musical or artistic, it was encouraged, if anything. Right? So everything was there. It was such a beautiful thing in those days. And I pray that our movement will be very upbeat, as we were saying, and not beat up. And we have, the thing that's going to make us move forward is projects. You have to do something that will sink your teeth into. It's really important. Identify a project that needs to be done. Identify, how you're going to expand, how you're going to grow, and also maintain. a lot of that has to do with, devotee care, taking care of each other, showing a lot of love, because that's what was there in those early days, a lot of love. And so it's a matter of coming together with your sanghas and says, what are we going to do? What's our big project? Like I heard that we're trying to get a big temple going up here, trying to compete with Mickey Mouse and Donald Trump. I heard. So you've got something here, and you know that that's what Prabhupada wants. He was into buildings. He was very much into books and buildings and people coming forward to participate in the bhakti yoga practices. So he was very much into numbers. So what we can do is, sort of measure how things are doing each year. Are we getting those numbers in? And of course, part of it is fundraising. That's really important. So I know you have something, brewing, or if it isn't there, maybe this is the month to really get serious about it and see that a beautiful temple comes up, which is going to have a restaurant. You got the vision. No windows, maybe a little swimming pool. I don't know. With no alligators in it.
They find their way in the pool anyway.
They get in there and they come of their own accord. Yeah. Yes. No invitation. Yeah. So I think that dream and let those dreams come true with intelligence. We can go ahead. One of the most important things that when Giriraj Swami had asked, he was a brahmachari was asked by Prabhupada, how do you think this movement will go on? And his answer was along the lines, well, we chant very carefully, we have very strong sadhana. And Prabhupada said, no. He said, no, that's not how it's going to go on. My interpretation of that is that Prabhupada felt there was enough sincerity, that devotees were, they say, showing a lot of integrity. They were doing good. They were devotional. That's already there. But what was missing was good management, intelligence, and those two things. Operating organization and using a lot of intelligence. That's what Prabhupada felt was the way that things will move forward. So may Krishna bless you all with your plans and with your projects, because we've been at this Krishna consciousness thing for 60 years now, right? Since ISKCON was incorporated, 1966 in New York. So we have some work to do, to show for our sincere endeavors. And, Prabhupada never really left us, you know that, right? Prabhupada never left us. He's still around. Hare Krishna. He's still around. And we would like to show him the work that we've done. We like to show the results of the good intentions of the devotees here and make something that we're proud of, that people want to come to. Like give them an alternative to the duck and the mouse. What do you think?
Yes.
Is that the way to go? All right. Thanks. Any other questions, Bruce, that might be on your mind? Yes.
Any tips for, because I love to walk and chant,
Yes.
but I feel that sometimes my mind wanders more if I'm walking and chanting. Do you have any tips for?
Tips? Well, I can't say I'm a champion at Japa, but I can say I try. I just keep trying. And you can always chant maybe a little louder if the neighbors don't think you're crazy, and call the police on you. Maybe go to some quiet places. But when you approach the japa, I think it's good to just, before you move ahead and put your fingers on the beads, just offer a little prayer. Be in a prayerful mood and simply say, Krishna, please help me with my child, help me with my attentiveness, help me to focus, And I think that will make a big difference. And if it trails off, the mind trails off, which it tends to do, then just ask Krishna again to help. Krishna says, wherever the mind wanders, bring it back under the control of the self. So when we're doing our japa, you are being a little bit of a fighter. I mean, kirtan is one form of chanting. It's kind of a jolly approach. It can be, right? When it comes to japa, I find it's more like you're in the boxing ring with Maya. You have to fight a little bit more. So it takes a little bit more of an effort, It's a psychological, mental, bout. That's what it is. But may Krishna bless you with improved japa. And if you just keep at it, despite the difficulties, it just means you are having a taste. There's some ruchi there. There is something there that's affecting you positively. What are the alternatives? What are you going to do? Sing a song from the radio? It's pretty depressing. Thanks. Anything else? Yeah. Oh, you have another one? Oh, I see what you mean. Well, thank you very much, and it's nice to be here. Thank you, and whatever your plans are for the future, personally or as a group, may Krishna allow them to be realized. Krishna is alive. We mentioned Prabhupada's alive. He didn't leave us, really. Krishna never left us. He's still with us. He's in the core of the heart, and you can test him. You can test him if you like. So just keep up those bhakti practices, and beautiful things will transpire. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And you don't have to worry about being a misfit. Hare Krishna. I did bring with me a suitcase of books. This is called The Saffron Path. It's about the walking experiences across the U.S., Canada, and other countries. And I just finished walking the Netherlands, which it was a challenge because I had to change my 2 knees. I replaced them. Because my cartilage wore down from all the walking. So it was my first time doing a marathon across a country. But as you know, the Netherlands, it's a small, flat, so I thought, I'm going to go for this one here. Yeah, it was a great experience. My parents came from the Netherlands. They landed in, like many, the Canadian soldiers liberated Holland in the Second World War. So there's this kind of love affair going on between these two countries. And so I walked, and a lot of my cousins that I didn't even know I had, they're late 60s and 70s, they came to join me. They are good. The Dutch are good networkers. So then we had a big, let's say, family reunion at the end. 30 cousins that I never knew I had. We all got together, and I had to explain to them that, because most of them come from the Catholic region of the Netherlands, and everyone heard about me, the one who got away. And then 50 years later, now I'm there explaining to them, well, I was with Jesus, but I never let Jesus has always been with me. I never dismissed him. I just added Krishna to my life, Jesus and Krishna. And since most people are trained, especially in the Western world, I would say in the Middle East especially, everything's black and white. There's not a sense of inclusiveness. It's got to be this or that. And that's a tyranny right there. It's tyrannical to think this or that. So it was nice to kind of like explain myself to all these cousins who were maybe somewhat misinformed, and to let them know that Jesus and Krishna are okay. And one of the walks I did was in Fiji. You're from Fiji, right? Yeah. And there was a fellow who was at the end of the sugarcane field, and right near the road. And I saw him, he looked kind of sad. He said, is everything okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. My name is Bhaktimarga Swami. What's your name? Johnny. I said, Johnny. I said, Johnny, I'm just walking across your country here. And he was sad because he lost his job that day. I don't know why. So would you like to walk with me? And I said, no, I can't do that. I said, why? Because I'm a Christian. I said, well, no, so you're a follower of Christ. I'm a follower of Krishna. Krishna's the Father. Christ is the Son. I'm sure Father and Son got along very well together. You know, maybe we could just, you know, walk together as friends. What do you think? And he joined me. And so we went for quite a few kilometers down the road. We ended up at the Lautoka temple, where Krishna is dancing on the Kaliya serpent. And he decided he wanted to do something. He wanted to help out. And so he took a shower, took off his coveralls from the, you know, from the work in the sugarcane plant. And then he was washing the pots. And he was so happy. He was just so happy. So those little magical things happen along the way when you're walking. You meet people and cherishable things happen. It's just great. It's just wonderful. So, we're going to go now. I think the doors, I see a hand, I see a flash. I see the temple president's But these books are available if anybody's interested.
Yeah, after we have this books and Maharaj.